So today, my farrier Chase New was able to come to the barn and take a peek at Y. Um, so he's got the hoof testers, and you can see I'm covering Y's eye just to help him a little bit, so the sight doesn't bother him. But as you can see, we get a fairly good reaction for those hoof testers on that inside, and Chase was able to see some little bit of a drainage track to make us believe that it is an abscess, so that's good. And then after that, because that was a little bit of pain that was caused by the hoof tester, so Chase came back and gave him a little bit of rubs and made him feel okay about it. So again, he's experienced with a fair amount of Mustangs, and so that's quite helpful. So later on in the day, I actually was preparing to leave for a trip, but I wanted to try to see if I could get Y's foot wrapped with a poultice. So that square piece you see that I have is called Animal Lintex, and it is a poultice. So you'll see I'm just kind of introducing him to it. The smell, just to get him to relax, and do a little bit of the clicker and rub it all over his body. Kind of the same thing that I've done like with the brush and everything else to get him comfortable. Now, I was in a little bit of a hurry, so there are times where you can kind of tell he says, hey, you need to slow down. You need to go on Mustang time. But I was very happy with how he was responding. So right now I'm kind of measuring, because I need to cut the Animal Intex to the proper size to fit his hoof. And so now I'm kind of setting everything up. As you can see, I've got a roll of vet wrap, and so that sound is kind of a little jarring for him. And so it's going to be a little tricky. I'm trying to make sure that I can plan it all out, because again, it's kind of a big task to ask him to see if he'll let me wrap his foot on day 7. So now what I'm doing is I'm creating a kind of a duct tape square. This will make it easier to wrap around the foot. And so what I do with the poultice is you dampen it, squeeze it out, and then you place it on the foot. So that's what I'm doing right now. And again, this poultice is really, really helpful with abscesses. It helps with inflammation, and it just will draw out the abscess. So the goal is to get that sucker to pop and to get out of the foot. So now I'm using the vet wrap to help hold the poultice in place, because it's a little damp. And he's handling this pretty well, considering the noise that it makes when you're wrapping it. So again, I'm trying to be careful. I kind of have to be a little ready just in case he gets a little nervous. But there he says, okay, I've had enough. So I'm find a good spot, try to cut the vet wrap, and make sure it'll hold. And right there you can see I kind of moved in a little quick, so he pushed his hip to kind of warn me a little bit and said, hey, kind of you need to slow down. You're going too fast. So again, that's why working with these guys, you really can't be in a hurry, can't rush. So that was just like a mental note. So now I'm taking my duct tape, little square that I made, so I can wrap the little hoof wrap. That makes it pretty simple to go around. And so now the next thing to do is to take longer pieces of the duct tape and to wrap around the foot. So I just went to go get some more alfalfa for him, because he handled that pretty well, all things considered. And again, so now I'm going to grab the duct tape, and I'm going to make longer strips, because in normal domesticated horse, you would just take the duct tape roll and just wrap around the rim of the foot to kind of give it a wearing area, so it won't just like rip off the duct tape. So right now I'm just trying to secure more of that taping that I had done prior. You can see he's getting a little agitated, but right now I didn't really want to let go when he was kicking. And then I go back, grab some more, because again, I'm got to make that sucker secure. Because the longer I can keep it on his foot, the better. And again, I couldn't ask for him to be better, honestly. He's being pretty patient about it. And I'm just trying to be tactful with how I'm doing it and trying to keep it short. Trying to make sure I can keep that animal index in place. And now I'm going to try to see if I can wrap another piece of the duct tape. And making sure that I'm not doing it too tight. When you wrap a hoof, you don't want to make it too tight on the top of the coronary band. So you want to make sure you stay on the hoof wall. So now I'm going to try to see if he'll let me wrap it. So duct tape's really loud. So I'm just going to try to give this a whirl and see how quick and efficient I can do it, and see if I can give it kind of a better wearing rim so it won't just wear it completely off. He got a little nervous there, but I'm able to hold it until he relaxes a little bit, so that was actually good. Fix my duct tape. Go back to asking again. And I'm not asking him to pick his leg up very high. I'm trying to keep it as minimal as possible and easiest for him. So I can get a couple of rounds. He's handling this pretty well. And I'm pretty happy with that. Again, it's not the prettiest hoof wrapping job that I've done, but it's an efficient one. So I was very happy with that. Give him a little bit of a reward for being a pretty good boy. Now I'm just going to go just do a check to make sure. Press the duct tape, because again, sometimes when your poultice is wet, duct tape doesn't want to stick to wet, so that's why you have to use a couple of layers, I suggest, with the vet wrap. And again, you can see when I went in just a little quick and he just wasn't quite sure. It's really kind of just the mind frame and the energy that I had. So those are just a couple of mistakes that I was making. Just feeling that urge a little bit to be in a hurry. Oftentimes with these guys, you just can't do that. So then I go and I work the right side just a little bit. Make sure it's all nice and positive. And I think too, you can see the really bad sunspot on his face with the sun. So I think that had a part in it as well, with how he was being a little concerned with my movements. That glare of the sun in his eyes. But he's good. He lets me touch the other legs, so that was really good. So fingers crossed we can get that abscess to pop. So here, it's just kind of like right before I left, I wanted to spend a little bit of time with him just in his stall and working on getting him comfortable with coming to me a little bit when I stick my hand under his jaw. So that can be a vulnerable place for horses because it's right near the jugular. But you see he's starting to kind of come in for the rub. And then I found horses really like it if you do a soft, gentle, circular motion over the eyes. It can relax them. So now you see he's starting to willing to bring his head in. And so I was really happy with the progress with Y this week, and it was really a big deal for him to let me wrap his foot, and hopefully we'll get that on the mend. So looking forward to working with him even more.